Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and this is just a quick episode just to kind of talk about sort of why my worldview has become what it has become. Because if anyone's followed me over the last 10 plus years of sort of libertarian punditry and commentary and activism, I originally started as much more sort of like centered around economics, like talking a lot about monetary policy, taxes, stuff like that. And I still hold all those points of view in the sense that I still believe that people should have choices. People should be able to choose different types of, mediums of exchange. People should keep more of their income. And I think all of these are generally good things. But to the extent that the world, there are limits on what we can do as individuals that go beyond just sort of what libertarians naturally would want, saying, hey, you can just do whatever you want, just beyond like don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. To the extent that we have a hard time getting closer to there, even though I think we have gotten closer to there, is to the extent that we are scared of each other or we don't like each other. Because what happens is that you generally don't want to control the people you like, right? You generally, your friends and family, you don't want to sit there and control their lives. You don't want to hurt them. The people you want to generally hurt or control or steal from are the people you don't like. So to the extent that we do that, it comes out of our fears of each other, our dislike of each other. So, fixing a lot of these problems at a grander scale, at the macro scale. So yes, free markets will make us more prosperous, but a free market in money will make us more prosperous and help us discover sort of new monetary innovations that are yet to achieve or allow current ones to reach new heights. All of these are good things, but the things that kind of hold these back is people's fear of each other, people's fear of, hey, if we just let down all these shackles, the people I don't like are going to be able to do all sorts of things that I don't like. And I don't like them doing things I don't like the people I don't like doing things I don't like. Okay, and a lot of that times just comes from misunderstandings or, what people imagine is going to happen, which oftentimes just comes from a lack of communication, a lack of interaction, a rush to judgment of what people's opinions are and who they are, or based on those opinions. And that's why basically my mission is kind of focused more on the social dynamic, on getting people to engage each other more in a more positive way, because I feel like that's going to break down those barriers. So that all those cool things that I want to happen, free minds, free travel, free markets, that can happen because once we feel better towards each other, we can give each other greater levels of the benefit of the doubt that we can try more freedom. Okay, and that's sort of the missing step. We're just hoping that people they can see the abstract benefit, but the problem is people don't forget about the people they don't like. And the way you get people to like each other is they have to interact with each other, and people have to communicate better. Because oftentimes people, fall into a pattern of not liking each other because they don't openly communicate, they miscommunicate, so they just don't say what they want to say to people, so people don't know where they stand, or people don't know full context, so they assume the worst, or people communicate poorly, so people misunderstand what they're trying to say and impute bad intentions. And oftentimes people just focus on talking about the things they disagree on, and they never find out what they do agree on. Okay, which is why I generally stay away from sort of the hot button topics. Also, I just care a lot more about creating that grander level of social tolerance, kindness, all that stuff, because I do think, again, it'll allow the fixing of all the other things I want fixed. Okay, I mean, just think about it. If we're all better to each other, one, we won't feel the need to control each other as much. Also, we'll probably be more charitable, which means the demand for, government distributed aid would become less because we'll have more faith in each other and we'll be willing to help each other because we like each other. So just trying to create those social bonds can really kind of overcome the barriers. It doesn't necessarily mean people can't be mean and people can't have negative opinions. But if you care about freedom, breaking that barrier of hate and fear and dismantling that, which is a barrier to us allowing each other to be free, it's just hard for me as a libertarian to say, hey, leave that route on the table, so that way to enable all these other things that I want to happen. Again, free markets, free minds, free travel, all that personal responsibility, all that good stuff. But people have to have some faith in each other for that to exist. It is a leap of faith. While logically, it all makes sense. And my conviction is strong. At the end of the day, there is still an element that people just need to have faith in each other for a free world to exist. And it's amazing that we have been able, at least here in the United States, have been able to be as free as we have been for this long. It does show at least a remarkable amount of faith we have in ourselves in the abstract, but we have to create much more faith in each other individually. We need to go out there and reach out to people, touch people, talk to people, create the environment where a culture of consent can thrive. So that's sort of, why my mission is kind of moved in that direction. And a lot of sort of what I talk about, it's a lot more about the importance of community, the importance of being kind, the importance of forgiveness, and creating a better social dynamic, because a better social dynamic will allow the amount of faith, allow the amount of slack to try to give freedom a chance, to allow, maybe a little bit more liberalizing of the markets, a little bit of lowering of taxes, because people won't be so scared of the people they don't like because they like more people. Okay, we've gotten to know each other. We started to realize that even in our just because we may disagree on issue X, Y, and Z, where someone who disagrees with you is not a monster. Okay, and that someone who disagrees with you doesn't see their own positions in the monstrous way you may see them. Okay, and sometimes by having that conversation, you guys understand each other better and might actually find yourselves both evolving in your positions to something that, could be better for both of you or all of you. Everyone benefits, okay, because everyone has their own unique perspective. So it's like Highlander. Every time except you don't have to kill someone, you just have to talk to someone and you absorb their powers or their perspective, and you become more powerful with every conversation you have, with every interaction, with every absorbing of new ideas and perspectives. And that's a world that's going to breed freedom. That's going to enable liberalism, because the more you are able to see, the more eyes you've seen things through, the harder it is to want to control people, because you start really appreciating sort of the diversity and individualism and how uncertain you as an individual must be in what is right for the world and what is right for anyone. And once you sit there and you see that, the more I learn, the less I know. Because the more you realize you don't know, okay, it's hard to sit there and say, hey, anyone should just have dominion over another, and that people have more capability to have dominion over their own life than many people will give them credit for. So my name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, some libertarian guy who talks about libertarian things. You guys have a great day and enjoy.